Just like these people believe in these churches, man. If these churches come out here, T.D. Jakes, Al Sharpton came out here, pulled up in a Rolls Royce.
I thought it was closer to home.
Yeah, big ass limo, Rolls Royce. These women would run up to the vehicle.
You just did that in there.
Niggas will run up to the vehicle. Oh my God, who's this? And he come out here condemning us. You guys rape babies. You guys say it's okay to rape women. Look, I'll show you a video of these people saying that.
That's what they do.
The city will jump on us.
Hell yeah.
Just like the city wanted to jump on Yahawashi. There was cities that were looking at our Lord, man. Where he just had to throw himself and dip up. He had to disappear in the crowd sometimes. You know? So it's nothing new. Okay?
The governor answered and said unto them, Whether of the twain will you that I release unto you? They said, Barabbas. Pilate said unto them, What shall I do then with Yahawashi, which is called the Mashiach? They all said unto him, Let him be crucified.
And that was capital punishment during the Roman Empire. Okay? Capital punishment was them putting you on a cross, man. Hanging you up from an erect object, which in some cases we call a tree. Okay, anything erect from the ground is called a tree. Right? But the Romans used the cross as capital punishment. It's just like here, capital punishment, they'll put you in Guantanamo Bay and do whatever they want to you in there. Whether it's sodomize you, because they do that shit, man. Alright? It's been shown that they've been sodomizing them prisoners in Guantanamo, starving them, having them drink their own urine. Okay? Crazy stuff, man.
It says, and the governor said, Why? What evil hath he done? But they cried out the more, saying, Let him be crucified.
And what's crazy is Pontus' wife, Pilate's wife, said that she had visions that were troubling her because she could see that was a man of the Lord. She could see that he was a just man, if I should say. Okay, because, you know, and Pontus was like, he didn't find no fault in Yahawashi. But because he's an Edomite, and he didn't want the city to be in an uproar, because then that would have went to, what's his name, Caesar, man. And Caesar would have looked at Pilate like, what's going on? You can't control your sect. And during those days, okay, the Roman Empire had a high reputation because they were on top. So all of their what you would say, all of their established places, or the places they colonized or took over, had to be organized and ran a certain way. They show you that in the episode of AD, where Pontus went out to see Herod and was like cursing him out. Or no, it was Caesar. Pretty much was bitch slapping around Herod. Okay, because they had structure. So here, Pontus had to do that because he feared the people would revolt, and then that would go back to Caesar, and then his ass would get chewed out, or possibly get put to death. You know, like I said, or possibly put to death, because the Roman Empire didn't fuck around, man. It tells you that in Daniel 7, which you could get after this. Or no, yeah, 7. I'll just get it.
All right, I'm gonna just jump down here. So Matthew 27 and 30, it says, And they spit upon him and took the reed and smote him on the head. And after that they had mocked him, they took the robe off from him and put his own raiment on him and led him away to crucify him. And as they came out, they found a man of Cyrene, Simon by name. Him they compared to bear his cross. And when they were come unto a place called Golgotha, that is to say, a place of a skull, they gave him vinegar to drink, mingled with gall, and when he had tasted thereof, he would not drink. And they crucified him, and parted his garments, casting lots, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by the prophet, they parted my garments among them, and upon my vesture did they cast lots. Alright? Going back to Isaiah 53. It says,
don't end it, just lock it.
now remember everything that was just read. Isaiah 53 and 7. It says, start at 5. But he was wounded for our transgressions, he was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed. So everything that the Lord went through, we just read about. He was crucified, he was beaten, he was smoked, he was spit on. They gave him piss to drink, man. Alright, they mocked him. They shook their head at him. All we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned every one to his own way.
All we have turned away. We went astray as sheep, man. But now we're returning, okay, to Yahawashi, Yahawashi. But it says everybody went astray, man. Okay? When we were born, we were like John, born with the Holy Ghost. Okay?
Uncoils itself.
That's why Yahawashi said that there was no greater man than John. Okay? John was born with the Spirit, man, with the Holy Ghost. None of us were like that. Okay? We went astray.
And the Lord had laid on him the iniquity of us all. He was oppressed and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. You know, Pontius Pilate, he said, well, look at all the things that they're testifying against you. Yeah, he didn't say a word, man. That's part of the scripture. That's part of the prophecy.
Because Yahawashi knew that he had to go through that. He had a son. Okay. What do they try to condemn Yahawashi about? That he was trying to revolt against the Roman Empire. He was going to destroy the temple. That he was a son of the Most High. Okay, they said he was a demon, casting out demons. Alright? Saying that he was a Mashiach or the Christ, the anointed. Okay, those are all kinds of things that they were demonizing him. Okay? Protesting against him. Okay?
He was brought as a lamb to the slaughter.
He was brought as a lamb to the slaughter. That's why he didn't say a word. Okay? When you look at it, when butchers slaughter animals, lambs are quiet. But goats be screaming, man. And you can see that on YouTube. Just type in butchery of lambs and goats. And you can see like the lamb is way quiet. The goat is fucking screaming. You know, then down here some of them sound like people screaming.
He was oppressed and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He is brought as a lamb to the slaughter.
Yeah, and he didn't say nothing. Okay, just like a lamb. When it's about to be butchered, he didn't say nothing. What do you tell Pilate? Thou sayest. A lot of times he didn't even talk. He just ate it, alright? He knew what was going to happen, and he just ate it.
I'm going to read it again. This is Isaiah 53 and 7. He was oppressed and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He is brought as a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before her shearers is dumb. Yeah. So he opened not his mouth.
So he opened not his mouth. And that's how you prove also the New and the Old Testament coincide, because it calls him a lamb. And lambs are created for Israel to eat as a clean animal, a delicacy. And also, it's a sacrificial animal. Yahawashi came down on the earth to be a sacrifice for our sins.
Yeah. So it tells you right here in the scriptures. As a sheep before her shearers is dumb, doesn't speak. That's why it says right there, he opened not his mouth, which was a fulfillment of prophecy, that's why the Old and the New Testament go hand in hand, because this was the prophecy, and it was fulfilled in what we read over there in the New Testament. said, he was taken from prison and from judgment, and who shall declare his generation? For he was cut off out of the hand of the living, for the transgression of my people was he stricken. And he made his grave with the wicked and with the rich in his death, because he had done no violence, neither was any deceit in his mouth. Yet it pleased the Lord to bruise him. He hath put him to grief. When thou shalt make his soul an offering for sin, he shall see his deeds, he shall prolong his days, and the pleasure of the Lord shall prosper in his hand. So it said that it pleased the Lord for him to do these things to him, man. Just like it pleases the Lord for us to come out here on the highways and byways and put ourselves up on as a living sacrifice, man. It's a pleasing thing to Yahawashi. That's why you guys that are just sitting around not doing anything, all right, the Lord's not pleased with that, man.
Yeah, he said it pleased the Lord to bruise Yahawashi. So that's why the Lord chastises us, man. He puts us through things, and it pleases him when you have faith and overcome. A guy that just throws in the towel, the Lord ain't pleased with that, man. No matter what you're going through. You don't show up to camp because you got demons on you and you pretend like that never happened. The Lord ain't pleased with that, man. It says his soul shall have no pleasure in a guy that draws back, man. You know? The Lord is only pleased with those that endure afflictions, man. Because we're appointed unto affliction, man. You can do whatever you want. You can go through.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's why we have a gap right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is Hebrews 10 and 38. Now the just shall live by faith. But if any man draw back, my soul shall have no pleasure in it. Yeah. But we are not of them who draw back unto perdition.
And that's what we pray that we are. Guys that don't draw back, man. Guys that don't throw in the towel. Because if you do, the Lord is going to have no pleasure in it. It's just like you got clothes that you really like that you have in your closet, and you're going to clean your closet, and you say, what the fuck? Man, I hated that shit. You throw that shit away. Or you got a video game that you bought, and you played it one time, you put it back in your collection, and then you're going through your collection to find games you want to play, and you pull this game out that you bought that you didn't like, you might throw the fucking disc, man. You might throw the disc and break it. Or you might sell it. Okay, you don't want it around. Well, the Lord don't want the displeasure around him, nor around his men. Okay? That's why the Lord puts spirits on guys to take them away from his men. Okay? And you know what I'm talking about. Oh, I spoke of the Roman Empire real quick. Because the Roman Empire, okay, was a superpower at that time. Okay, they conquered the known world at that time. They had them under tribute. Okay, nobody messed with them. I'm going to start with the Greek Empire. This is Daniel chapter 7, verse 6. It says, after this I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it.
Yeah, talking about Alexander the Great in the Greek kingdom. You know, the leopard, it had 4 wings and 4 heads, because Alexander had 4 generals. You know, and this was during the time of Babylon. You gotta realize that Daniel was taken into the Babylonian captivity under Nebuchadnezzar. And so he was prophesying of the Medo-Persian Empire, the Greek Empire, the Roman Empire, long before they came into power. And the visions are so accurate, talking about 4 wings, talking about 4 heads. Alexander the Greek, he actually had 4 generals that parted the kingdom amongst each other, and they made war with each other, man.
Yeah, the 4 generals, okay, was Lacemaeus, Cassander, okay, Ptolemy, okay, and Seleucid, okay. Those are the 4 generals of Alexander. Those are those 4 wings. What? Oh yes, no. Okay. The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. After this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns.
Yeah, and it had 10 horns. Talking about the different treaties that it had with these different tribes, man. These different European tribes. You had the Gauls, the Visigoths, the Ostrogoths, so on and so forth, which were the 10 horns under the Roman Empire. So Rome was the head, okay? Rome was the one that conquered the earth at that time, and it was dreadfully, it was exceedingly dreadful, man, because they were the most hardcore kingdom to come upon the earth. All right, they were doing all types of terrible judgments upon people. All right, they were quartering people. They were crucifying people. They were ripping people's shoulders out, man, doing all types of shit to people, man. All right, and they would just totally stomp out these other kingdoms, man. All right, took down the Greeks. All right, and then it was diverse from all the other kingdoms before it, because all the other kingdoms, they had kings. They were ruled over by kings. They had princes. Okay, and you had a king and his son. The king's son would be next in line to the throne. And the Roman Empire was different from all of that, because they had a Senate, they had an election, they had but today you call Democrats and Republicans. They had that back then, because America is based upon the Roman Empire. So they had a Senate, they had Caesars, which are known as presidents today. Alright? And the 10 horns were the different European countries that were in league with it. That was the beast, man. That was that great and dreadful beast that came out of the sea.
Which is here today, which is America as Rome all over again, with NATO and the EU as those 10 horns. And together they make up the beast. Because America is a whore that sits on the beast, man. Okay, America is Rome all over again. That's why you got these Colosseums still. Okay, right here in San Jose, California, you got a Coliseum. Okay, you got more than one. Okay, you got the Spartan Stadium, which is nothing more than a Coliseum. Okay, you got the HP Pavilion, okay, or the Shark Tank, if you will. You got these NFL stadiums. They wanted to bring the Niners here. Okay, to Santa Clara, they wanted to bring a Niners stadium, which is nothing more than a Coliseum. Okay.
Yeah. So this place was founded upon the same way that the Romans ran their empire back then. The same way you got the 10 horns today. You got the NATO and the EU. The European Union is the 10 horns. That's those old nations coming back in league with each other, because this is the revival of Rome. The whole Roman Empire is back.
Yeah, the scriptures say from the deadly wound that was healed.
Your deadly wound that was healed. That's talking about the Roman Empire. So America is Rome. America's that head, that capital, that central man. You know, and those other European nations, when they were formed, it literally was called the Treaty of Rome, man. You know, that America had with these other European nations. It was literally called the Treaty of Rome. So this is spiritually Rome all over again. That's how you know NATO and the EU is the beast, because the beast in Revelation is talking about ancient Rome. Okay, and so this is that beast, man. This is the revival of Rome. That's how we know that NATO and the EU is that beast was having 7 heads and 10 horns. Man.
This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
Yeah, it has 7 heads. So the 7 heads is talking about different kingdoms that was in power before America came into power. Before that last head got set up, man. They said that the little horn, which was it was what was it say? Its visage was more stout than its fellows. It was in, I think it's Daniel 8. But that was talking about America, man. That little horn that came out, the 8th head, the 8th that came out of the 7th. Because you had, you had the French, you had the Spanish, you had the Roman, you had the Greeks, the Romans, Germania Major, Germania Minor, the French, the Spanish, and then last you had Great Britain, which it tells you that the 8th came out with 7. So the 7th head, the 7th power is Great Britain. America came out of Great Britain.
Britain was the strongest of all. Okay? Britain was the strongest. Alright? And that's where America came out of. That's why they had that Civil War. That was the birth of that 8 head. Okay? This is it says, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy, which is their doctrines they push. Okay, what is Esau about? Ruling the world with violence, okay, spreading democracy, okay, homosexuality, alright, that's that blasphemy, man. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard. It says, and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard. Going back to that same old Edomite Greek-Roman Empire. Because before it was a Roman Empire, it was called the Greco-Roman Empire. Okay? Because it was transitioning. You had Edomites rebelling, okay, away from Greece, away from Macedonia. Alright? It says, and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority.
Yeah, the dragon was talking about Rome.
Yep, because the feet of a bear, this is also spiritually talking about the beginning and end of Esau. Because the beginning of Esau coming into power was a Macedonian or Greco Empire. Then the end of Esau, the feet, okay, the bear of a bear, which is Russia. Okay, that's his end. When the Russians get involved and fight against the war and the beast. Alright? It says, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. Britain was known, can you get over there though? As the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed.
And so one of the heads was wounded to death because the Roman Empire was broken up, split apart, and ultimately it got consumed. All right. Ultimately, the Roman Empire got taken down. Now, the deadly wound was healed in these times. The deadly wound was healed during the inception of America. All right.
Well, the Renaissance. That was the rebirth of the Roman Empire. That's when Esau came back into power. And then it evolved into what you see now. Okay? Because the Edomites started coming back into power during 1400s. Because Jake was ruling from like 200, 300 AD.
Yeah.
Okay? Man, I forget his name. But during the Roman the pagan Roman Empire, okay. So the deadly wound was healed, all right, during the Renaissance. The word Renaissance means rebirth, and that was the rebirth of Roman civilization or the Roman Empire. Okay. It says, and I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast.
Yeah, which is NATO and the European Union. That's the beast today, man. That's the Roman Empire back in its full power. Okay, because it was prophesied that the Roman Empire was going to rule the world. Now in this time, all right, NATO and the EU actually, so-called white man conquered the whole world. You know, in America and the European Union are actually ruling the whole world, man. You know, that's why anytime another nation goes off, they sanction them, they drop bombs on them, all right? They're ruling the world in wrath and in wickedness, man. You know, and that's why the whole world wondered after the beast, because the power that the beast had over the earth, man.
Yeah, it kind of goes into that verse 4. And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. And they worshiped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? who is able to make war with him.
Yeah, that's what these different European countries are saying, man. That's what all these other nations are saying.
Other nations are saying against.
That's what all these other nations are saying, man. Even these, and the America gave power, you know, to these different countries to be able to rule with them, man. All right, because America is the head, man. America is Rome. And so the dragon gave power to these other countries as well. And they said, who is like to the beast? Who's like America, man? All right, this is the strongest nation in the world right now.
Well, that military.
Yeah, that military. That's the strongest country. That's the strongest country in the world at that time. Now it's different. But back when America was coming up, you know, in the times of like World War I, World War II, everybody's looking at America like, damn, who can fight against it, man? That's a superpower, man.
Yeah, that's what these nations are saying about this alliance between America and these other countries. Who can make war against the beast? Who can make war against NATO and the EU? Now, it wasn't until recently that these nations started bucking up. But before, in the 70s, 80s, these nations weren't there, man. They knew what would happen. And during those times, a lot of them wars were taking place between Esau against himself. Just like it always was. Okay?
Yeah, always.
That's why they had to create the beast, which was started through treaties, the Treaty of Rome, the Treaty of Versailles, the Treaty Brussels Treaty. Okay, because all these countries were fucking each other up so bad, they said, you know what? Let's come to an agreement and just take over the world. Because if we keep fucking with each other, we're gonna kill each other. The Lord put it in their spirit to come together to take over the world. Just like he divided these 12 tribes of Jacob, Israel, Esau and his tribes were divided. But the Lord made them come together as that sword to take over the world. You know? Yeah.
This Revelation 6 and 4, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another.
Yeah, and Esau took peace from the world, from the earth. The Edomites, when you started ruling during the Roman Empire, and coming back is NATO and America and the EU. Okay, which makes up, NATO and the EU is the beast. Okay, America's a whore, Babylon. But they're all a big alliance right now. Okay, and when you came into power, you took peace from the world. You set up bases in other countries. You tell these countries what to do, and nobody ain't gonna let you come into their house and tell them what to do. So they have to defend themselves and their heritage. But in doing so, they're getting fucked up. Okay? Nobody can make war with the beast at that time. Okay? And you took violence from the world. You're that red horse. Red symbolizing, okay, who you are, Esau, the red man. Crimson represents crime. Okay. And power, which was a horse. Horse represents power. You are power. Esau is a god on the left hand. He's an angel, I should say. You are the anointed cherub in the garden. You are the serpent, which wasn't an actual snake. Okay? You walked in the midst of the stones of fire, which was in the garden. Alright, good.
Yeah, man. So you have power to take peace from the earth and to kill one. That's what you're doing at the time of the Greeks and the time of the Romans. Right? When the four generals split apart during the Greek Empire, they were killing each other, man. So there ain't nothing new under the sun. You Edomites left to yourselves, you kill one another, man. You kill each other. That's what's going to happen real soon. World War III. All right, Esau is going to be fighting against Esau, man. You're going to see that here in America. Okay, you're going to see these Edomites that are fighting against Edomites, man. You got these left-wing Edomites that fight against these right-wing Edomites. You got these Edomites that are prepping, getting ready to fight against the government. All right. because the Egyptians set against the Egyptian, and then you got the Russians that are going to fight against America. All right, which those are other Edomites. Those are part of your same.